good afternoon at Black Nights Film Festival, and now we have opportunity to talk with Egyptian filmmaker Abu Bakr Shawky. I had a pleasure to be with him on the same jury in
Correct.
in Istanbul
Yeah,
in Bosphorus Film Festival,
it's a
and
good time.
now we switched sides. Now I'm a programmer, Edvinas, one of programmers here, and Abu Bakr, first time in Tallinn in official competition with his third feature film, The Stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much for having me. I'm so glad to be here. It's great to be Estonia for the first time. I landed yesterday, and it was beautiful. I loved it.
And Abu, your three films, I saw them all, and they are all different.
Yeah, very
Yomeddine
different.
is minimalist road movie. You launched it in Cannes in main competition. Then Hajan is epic
Yeah,
with camel racing,
yeah,
and the stories is feel good, romantic, musical, sport, comedy about family, love.
yeah.
But firstly, I always wanted to ask filmmaker who makes films in chapters.
Hmm.
When you decided to do in a film in chapters.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that started really early on. Film is set in 5 chapters. It happened between the year 1967 and the year 1984, and then jumps ahead several times. That decision came really early. I was trying to make a film, a fictionalized version of how my parents met. They met a few decades ago, and through pen pals, they would write letters to each other. My mother's from Austria, my father's from Egypt, and they were writing letters. And I wanted to do a fictionalized version of what that might have looked like back then, and to get the entirety of their of that story into one movie, I had to jump over several time spans, and I had a feeling the film is almost like it's a book in a way that had the freedom to really do anything. It doesn't really follow the regular norms of storytelling with a regular beginning, middle, and end, but it is kind of divided into chapters, and each chapter kind of tells a different time period and different difficulties that they faced.
Mhm. But all protagonists are invented, or maybe you you blend something from real stories.
Well, the original, the core of the film was that I wanted to do a film about my parents and how they met, which is through letters. Everything else, in a way, it's a yes and no. It is fiction, but it's also a bit of reality. So it's a person you sometimes heard of. My family, they were very good storytellers, and we would always get together once a week, and they would always recount all these stories about people they know, about things they heard of, and I think the more they told these stories, the bigger the stories became, and the more fantastical they came, and the more fictional they became. And I had a feeling that this is kind of the same thing that happened with the film, which started out as a kind of a realistic depiction, and then the more I rewrote it, it just became more fantastical and bigger, and it kind of followed the path of how they would tell the story. So yes, it's kind of everything is a mixture of fact and fiction, and even the things, the events, and they might not follow exactly in terms of realism and timeline what happened and how it happened, but it's almost like how I remember it and not how it really happened.
Yeah, but you were born a bit
Yeah, yeah,
later when you start a film,
that's a good point.
and that part
Yeah.
you had to learn through from.
From the stories, from all the stories that were being told to me. So whenever, like I said, there's this weekly meeting of my family gathering, and they would always tell stories. So whenever they're telling these stories, I imagine them in a completely different way than maybe they have experienced them. And this film is kind of a retelling of how I imagine these stories to have unfolded, and how they kind of, like I said, become bigger and bigger with each time that they're being retold.
Mhm. Uh, and you added plenty of humor, burlesque, and
Yeah.
satire.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
there is that. It's the tone of it is a bit of a mix between both humor and tragedy, because there is a dichotomy between the family and what happens around them, and very often what happens around them is, if it's something good, then something bad happens to the family, and vice versa. And it kind of comes. I noticed that the humor usually comes from the more difficult situations, and when people are faced with difficult situations in life, they resort to humor, and that's what was happening in the film.
And we use a lot of archive footage. These are real footage and historical events you follow. To someone who doesn't know what happened in Egypt, everything is truthful.
Yes, I tried to stick as much as possible to the reality, and to the chronologically how the events are told. Sometimes it's not 100% accurate, but like generally, this is how the story unfolded of of the modern history or the recent history of Egypt.
And I am from Lithuania. Basketball is our national religion, and football is mentioned many times in your film, very cheerfully. And I also remember Mohamed Shawky, a football player. Is he related or just coincidence?
No. They're not related. It's funny that you know him. How come you know him?
I follow football.
No, he's not related. There's a lot of Shawkys in Egypt. The family, they follow a football team that is, obviously, it's the team that we support too in our family. And the film generally, it follows characters that are like these Don Quixote types. Kind of almost like the little man trying to do something big, but like everything around him is too difficult. And I feel like my team always was box office. You know what I mean? Like they always provide drama. They're interesting to watch. They always have interesting things. There's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of drama happening all the time. Like there's always, beyond football, there's like a lot of things happening around it, and it's always interesting to watch. And I have a feeling that like the family that watches it in the movie, they're kind of similar in that sense, that there's always something bigger happening that they cannot control.
Yeah, and then from Egypt we moved to Vienna, which is a capital of classical music.
Yeah.
But you mix not only classical but also popular Egyptian music. I haven't heard much of these pieces. And how did you collected them?
Well, so the film is, I always knew that I wanted to do a type of film that really touches upon the pop culture of that time. So as much as like the main character is a classical pianist, but it's going through all the different phases of Egypt where a lot of things were changing, allegiances were changing, politics were changing, so that also had an impact on the music. And all the pop culture that's coming through TV, through the radio, through the things that they ingest and digest, it's all things that are that kind of tell the story of the country in a way. And those are songs I grew up with, songs that I've heard over and over again, songs that were very popular at the time. And I wanted them to be part of that movie. I felt like it is almost like the film lives and dies on its soundtrack, and the soundtrack is kind of an important component of this one.
And Karim is very charismatic, leading actor.
Ahmed, Amir al-Masri. Amir al-Masri. Wonderful actor, wonderful person. He really embodied the character in such a great way. He's a top professional. He's just really all around a good guy. Yeah.
But we don't see him very often
in the movie. Well, it's a very fast movie. There's so much happening. There's it's an ensemble piece. There's families. There's uncles. There's the fathers and the mothers, and there's the Austrian family. It's him and Valerie Pachna, who is his co-lead. They guide the film through their love story. But the film is about family, so there's a lot of family elements. There's a lot of country elements. There's a lot of things that the changing times around them are kind of like have their effect on them.
Yeah, and Valerie probably most known
Yeah,
face
absolutely.
from A Hidden Life by Terence Malick.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you cast her easier, or you made a bigger casting?
I still can't believe she said yes to this. I mean, she was we got in touch with her through our Austrian producer Alexander Glea, and she liked the script and she said yes to it. It was great because Valerie is such a natural actress. She is really the cornerstone of this film. Every time the camera goes to her face, everything kind of changes, and she's just a wonderful person all around.
And this is co-production of between Egypt and Austria, and maybe you can tell us what Austrians brought to this film. You were writing this film in Austria or in Egypt?
I wrote this film in Egypt. I wrote it several years ago. Austria was always, because this is kind of how I grew up and how my parents got to know each other. My mother being Austrian and my father being Egyptian, I knew there was going to be an Austrian element in the film. And I just wasn't sure of the size of what it was when I started writing it, and then it became bigger and bigger while I was drafting the script. It was working with them was a really great experience, and we had also crew members that were Austrian. We had Wolfgang Thaler, who is the cinematographer. We had Roland Stöttinger, who was the editor. We had many crew members who were part of this movie and who were really integral to tell the story.
Yeah, it's a very uplifting, feel-good film.
Yeah.
For bigger audience, I think. Did you have intention to make that?
No, the idea was that I didn't want to make a film that I feel like you said in the beginning, my 3 films so far, they have been vastly different. They don't really have much similarities between each other, and I wanted to make a feel-good movie where people go in. I feel over the past 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years, people have not been going through a great time, and you want to make a film that's uplifting, that people watch, that is about the little victories in life, about the little men trying to do something big, and the people that are on the sides of usually the story. Like usually you tell the story about the big heroes, and these are the small heroes who are kind of left aside, and nobody really tells their story. It's your uncle, your aunt, your neighbor, your postman, the people around you that you don't really often think about. Oh, we should make a movie about that, and they really wanted to make a film about the little victories that uplifts people a little bit.
And when I talked with other Egyptian filmmakers, I heard that it's not a guaranteed fact that it will be allowed to screen in Egypt. Do you think the stories will be shown in Egypt?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I really hope so. I think any film that I make, I really hope that I've never maybe make it for a specific audience. I really hope that everyone gets to see it, and it's in its core, and it's an Egyptian movie. People should see it, and I think they will like it. There is nothing in there that is anything other than just like bringing joy to the country and the people.
Will your family members see
Yeah, my parents are here.
I
brought them, of course. Yeah.
In Tallinn?
Yeah, they're here. They're gonna see the screening tonight. I hope it goes well. And yeah, they've seen a very early version many months ago. And then I told them they should wait until they see the very final version. But yeah, they're here, and yeah, we're excited.
Oh, it would be a big intrigue
tonight.
The stories, Abu Bakr Shawky.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here for this introductory interview.
Thank you very much for having me.
I can already reveal you a secret, but it's total sold out.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And we will test how Estonian and international audience will react to your humor and sensibility.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hope it goes great. I'm really excited about the screening today. I'm excited to finally bring it to audiences. And the film was many years in the making. To finally have it screened is a great honor.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Edvinas.